Yeah, that's right. I see the chat. I see y'all rocking. I see y'all coming. Hit that like button as you enter the building. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support. You know what I'm saying? This that dope soul. This that new thing. Nobody don't know about it.
Hello, Knick family. Welcome to the Knicks. Welcome to Stats and Storylines, which is the Knicks weekly preview show. Today, we're going to go over this week's opponents, New Orleans tonight, Wednesday, San Antonio, Friday, Atlanta, and then Saturday, Philadelphia. So we'll talk about each team a little bit, the storyline surrounding the team right now. We'll talk, just kind of give you a sense of how the team likes to play. We'll talk matchups, we'll talk keys to victory, and we'll try to cover 4 teams, including our New York Knicks, in 1 hour, right? Because the Knicks play at 8 p.m. in New Orleans. Ajay, the villain. How you feeling?
Salute, Queen. Salute to you. Salute to the chat, Knicks Nation. Man, let's get this thing popping, man. Let's talk about, we have 1 hour to talk about those 4 teams, plus whatever we got to say about the Knicks. So I don't know. We're going to have to, try to squeeze it all in there.
Yeah, we do. I mean, let's start with the Knicks. Right now we're 22-9, second in the Eastern Conference, 8-2 over our last 10. We won our last 2 games, despite dealing with a lot of injuries. We've been without Shamet for a long time, Deuce McBride for a long time. Josh Hart missed his second game. His first game, but first game in maybe like a quarter or half a quarter. So we've been seeing a lot of the young kids. I think we've been getting positive minutes from them. It looks like Deuce McBride might be back tonight. He is probable. So unless there's some sort of mishap or setback pregame, he should play tonight. And I did see that Mitchell Robinson is on the injury report tonight. So he won't play. Maybe we'll see Hukporti, but just briefly, what are you seeing from the team, and just thoughts on, the injuries and Hart being out, Shamet, Mitchell Robinson?
Well, I mean, the team. First of all, the team. I mean, we're in a very good place right now. I mean, it's almost the end of the year, and we've only lost 9 games. So that's pretty good. I don't know compared to last season. I mean, it had to be. I don't even have to look at it.
I think we were ahead of last year.
It had to be ahead by at least a couple of games than last season. So that's a really good place to be. And like you said, we're doing all this without everybody being fully healthy. I mean, you mentioned Hart, but remember the beginning of the season, Hart, he missed a couple of games there. Cat has missed a couple of games. Bronson's missed a couple of games. So everybody's in and out. So we really haven't had a full roster to be doing this. So it's a very good place to be. It's a very good place to be. The Knicks, they have that next man up mentality that's showing right now. You have guys that are producing when called upon, and they're coming and giving us big minutes, very productive minutes at what they do. I mean, sometimes you could see a little rust, you could see a little lack of experience, but overall, when you're grading the team as a whole, you're like, okay, this team is in a very good place. I mean, we're second in the East, only a game and a half behind Detroit. If we win tonight, we're going to be 1 game behind them. So that, for a team who hasn't been 100% healthy, I think that's been that's pretty good so far this season.
To piggyback off of what you said, I believe Clarkson and Bridges are the only ones who've played the every game this this season. And so shout out to just the next man up mentality, and I'm particularly impressed with the young guys coming in and giving us positive minutes. Diawara last game, McCullough his first game with extended minutes, giving us good minutes. I think that's what you're looking for in situational players, that when the situation arises, they come in and give you good minutes. And we've gotten that from them. And kudos to, Mike Brown. I mean, listen, some of it, his hands is forced a little bit, right, because of the injuries, but still, he didn't have to play McCullough. He could have given Diawara more minutes. He could have went with Yabusele. He could have ticked up the minutes of the starters, but instead he decided to put McCullough in what, Tony did the game recap the other day,
Another show.
data collection, just putting guys in early in the season to see what you have. So if you have to go back to them late in the season, you have a sense, of who they are.
And very important also, Queen, is the trust. Showing them this trust boosts their confidence to the point where these guys, they kind of like it makes them feel comfortable to go out there and be themselves, right? The game against Atlanta, right? You had McCullough made a couple of mistakes, but the coach stuck with him. And overall, when you look at the game as a whole, you're like, with this kid, he had a pretty good game for somebody who doesn't get a lot of minutes. Like, if this is literally his first time out, with extensive minutes. He made a couple of mistakes, yes, but then you stuck with him, and then overall, he's been a net positive for the team. That's huge in a young player's confidence and building his confidence.
Absolutely.
So, kudos to Mike Brown and the coaching staff for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move to New Orleans. 8-12, 15th in the Western Conference, 5-5 over their last 10. They've lost 3. Zion Williamson and Jordan Poole are now coming off the bench. Both of them were out for extended periods of time. They came back, and for I think the last 5 games or so, both of them have been coming off the bench. I'm not sure if that continues when we see them tonight, but that's been the case. They're just not a good team. They're just not a good team. They have a 26 offensive rating, 27 defensive rating. They will punish you in the paint. They take 65.7% of their shots in the paint. And they're number 1 in points in the paint with 58.3 points. And a lot of that is Zion, right? That's how he plays. But he's been out for more than a few games. So it's not just him. That's just how they like to play. They're not a good 3-point shooting team. They're 28th in attempts, 27th in percentage. They do get to the line, 7 in attempts. Obviously, if your game is predicated on getting in the paint, I would think that you're going to get to the line a lot. They are number 10 in fast break points, so the Knicks transition defense has to be on point. And the Knicks are a really good team in terms of opponent fast break points. So I think we'll be okay there. They're number 10 in points off turnovers. We're not a team who turns it over a lot, but we have a 3-game stretch. It's like 18, 19, 20 turnovers. So I don't think this is a team you want to turn the ball over against. They're 30th in opponent 3-point attempts. Teams put up 41.7 threes against them. And the Knicks like to take threes. They should get that opportunity against this team. They're 12th in opponent 3-point percentage. Teams only shooting 35.5%. The Knicks are 4th in percentage. Let's see how that plays out. But anything about New Orleans, either from here or what you've heard, or even a matchup, what you're looking for from the Knicks?
Well, they have a terrible record. They last in the West, as you mentioned, and they're not a good team. However, they have guys who historically give us problems, right? And when I say problems, I don't mean they come and dominate, but there could be a handful, okay? Guys like Zion Williamson, usually when he plays, he does. I feel like he hasn't played a lot against us, but he's always put up points. He always put up good numbers against us, no matter who we have in the lineup. Herbert Jones is another guy who plays well against us, and as is Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole could be on the worst team. I remember last season he was with the Wizards, and he was giving us fit, right? So these guys, they come in and you put them against the Knicks, they're gonna come and play. They're gonna come and ball out. And Alvarado's out, right? He's suspended, I think. And, who else? DeJounte Murray's out. He's another guy who
hasn't played this year at all.
Yeah, he's out. So he's another guy who also has played well against us. But they still have guys who can play. So, as with every team, this is the NBA. You got to go in there ready to play. If it's a team that's this bad, you put the smack down from the opening quarters, from the first half, and then kind of take the air out, so they don't even think they can come back it out. So
Yeah.
you got to go in very aggressive as if you're playing OKC. Go in, focus, and take care of this one real early, so you don't have to worry about have to struggle and spend a lot of energy try to beat him at the end of the game.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Jabroni. You're right. They're actually 8-25, so that was incorrect. Thank you. Thank you for that. Listen, you know, they fired their coach, right? Green is not there anymore. Borrego, who used to coach the Charlotte Hornets, he's the interim coach right now. They're playing a little better under him. He's the one that made the decision not to put Poole and Williamson back in the lineup when they returned. From injury. And listen, even though we still have injuries, I mean, we've been playing well with the injuries. And even with the injuries, we're a better team than New Orleans. But to your point, if we don't play our best game and if they play their best game, anything can happen, right? I would be really disappointed if the Knicks lost this game tonight, even without Mitchell Robinson. They have a really good rookie Derek Queen, if I'm not mistaken.
Really good, that kid.
Say that again?
I said that kid is really good, Derek Queen.
Yeah, has a good feel for the game. He rebounds well, passes well. So we'll get a good look at him tonight. Herb Jones, I believe, is out tonight, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll get a chance to see Trey Murphy, somebody I really like. Sherwin says that Derek Queen might be their best player. And listen, they gave up, in order to move up to get Derek Queen, they gave up next year's #1 draft pick. He better turn into a star, because it looks like that that first round pick is going to Atlanta. Next year's pick, and they can use it, given that they've won 8 games, right? So that was a big decision that they made, but they were high on him, and at least early in the season, he's delivering from them. They're not a very tall team.
They're not small either. They got some pretty good size. I mean, you got you have Trey Murphy's 6'8", right? Well, the little guy Alvarado, he's out, but you have Derek Queen is 6'9". He's not. These guys are not little.
They're not little, but other than that, who else do they have as far as height is?
Is Herbert Jones playing? You said he's
I don't
out?
think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. But anyway, that's the synopsis of, for them. They don't really do anything well. The Knicks are a pretty good team in terms of defending in the paint. Let me see where the Knicks are. Opponent points in the paint. The Knicks are 4th. The Knicks give up about 45 points in the paint. This is the #1 points in the paint team. So let's see, what the Knicks could do. It may not even matter. They're just not a good team. They get most of their points in the paint, but they're not scoring a lot of points, right? They're 28th in offensive rating in terms of points per 100 possessions. So I think we'll be fine.
We mentioned everybody on that team except for the guy we've been talking about the last few shows, right? Sadiq Bey.
Yeah.
We didn't mention him at all, but he is also on that team, and he's been playing very well for them.
He has.
Okay. So
Watch
out, because with his size, especially with Mitch out, I think they have Kevon Looney, who used to play for the Warriors. He's a pretty good rebounder. He's on that team as well. I don't know if he's playing, but he's on there. And remember, we don't have Mitch, so these guys, they're gonna have to crash the boards.
I feel pretty confident. I know some of us are not high on the Knicks defense. New Orleans is on self-check anyway. Like they're just not, they're just not a good team. But I don't know. I just feel, pretty confident. They don't shoot the ball well. 20th in field goal percentage, 27th in 3-point percentage. They do get to the line, number 7 in the league, but they shoot 78.7%. I don't know. We'll see. Okay.
We'll see.
We shall see. We shall see.
It's the Knicks. Everybody gets up for the Knicks.
Let me know in the chat if you have any concerns about the Knicks versus New Orleans. I don't know. Maybe you have concerns because we're not 100%. Maybe you feel like, we've been kind of getting away, with the injuries or what have you. I don't have any concerns about tonight's game. And because I don't have any concerns, it's going to be a concerning. It's going to be a concerning game. All right, let's move on to San Antonio, who is just the opposite of New Orleans. 23-8, second in the Western Conference, 8-2 over their last 10. They did lose their last game versus Utah, which is not a good team. Maybe they were looking ahead. Maybe they relaxed, whatever it is. But we play them Wednesday. This is a very good offensive and defensive team. They're number 5 in offensive rating. They're number 5 in defensive rating. They're number 6 in opponent points in the paint, number 2 in opponent fast break points, number 2 in opponent second chance points, and number 4 in opponent points off turnover. Like, these are their defensive metrics. It's hard for teams to score in the paint. It's hard for teams to score in transition. It's hard for teams to get second chance points. Right. It's hard for teams to get points off turnovers versus this team. And they're very good offensive team, and they're a very good rebounding team, like top 10 in total rebound percentage, offensive rebound percentage, defensive rebound percentage. They get to the line, 9th in free throw attempts, 11th in free throw percentage, and they're 6th in second chance points and number 9 in fast break point. Like, this is like a team right here, and so are the Knicks, So it's going to be very interesting to see who gets what. And
shout out these Blue Drew says Wembanyama definitely gonna want revenge against us. And
he's back in the starting lineup too. I think Utah was the first time he was back in the starting lineup. If I'm not mistaken.
Less minutes restriction, so he is gonna come in to play because we kind of steal the spotlight from him a couple of times. Last season's Christmas game, he didn't forget that. Like, he's the golden boy. Come in here, thought they were gonna do something, and then we won the game. That's a stain on him. Okay, the other day, the NBA Cup, the whole world was watching that one game. Again, we put the smack down. They remember those things, so they're gonna come back, try to make a statement game against us. So we better be ready, man, because these boys, they're going to come in to play. On New Year's Eve, they're going to come in ready.
In San Antonio, right?
In San Antonio.
And they got the guards, they got the guards who can defend, and they have the guards that can get into the key, right? And collapse the defense. And they don't have a lot of shooters. Champagne is one, Barnes is one, Fox is one. There's another one. But this is a team that is just playing well on both ends of the floor. I think it's going to be a major test for the Knicks. The good thing, if you want to say, they're not really good in opponent 3-point percentage. They're 16th in the league. Teams shoot 36.1% against them, but they don't give up a lot of attempts. They're 10th in attempts, only giving up 36. We shall see. I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward. I would think Mitch will be back, and we're gonna need everybody.
Okay, yeah.
We're gonna need everybody. I think Deuce is coming back today. I think that'll help some with our point of attack defense, but they got so many guys that can get into the key. Deuce can't, do it by himself, but that'll definitely help. Tie Cowboys. I'm not afraid of the Spurs. We just have to keep consistent defense on them. I mean, that's the key, sis. Consistent defense. The Knicks are right now 15th in defensive rating, giving up 114.3 points per 100 possessions. And they score, what are they offensive? They're fifth. They score 118.8 points per 100 possessions. So it's going to be interesting to see any particular matchups, any particular concerns, anything you feel like the Knicks must do if they want to secure this victory.
Listen, it's going to be a dogfight, okay? Because, like you said, this is a very good team on both ends of the court, right? We have to find a way to control the boards, and that's going to be tough because you have 7'7" or 7'6" Victor Wembanyama in the middle. He is a monster rebounder. Okay, so you're gonna need. I mean, you're gonna need to like really box him out. The good, he has the height, but if you box him out, you can get rebounds on him, right? Because he's not super physical. So you're gonna have to box him out. You're gonna have to control the boards. If we control the boards, we have a very good chance of winning that game against the Spurs. I mean, and you have to try to find a way to contain their guards, right? Because they have guys, and somebody in the chat mentioned Castle. Castle's very good. He's a very good young player. So I mean, these guys, they have, like you said, they play well on offense. They play well on defense. They have the athleticism. Is he 6? I thought he was like 6'6". I mean 7'6" or something.
No, 7'4".
Oh,
he said, "Calm down. You making him like Green Giant."
But the thing is, anybody standing next to him look minuscule. You see Mitch next to him. It's like, move out the way, shorty. I was talking about 7-footers, but they have the athleticism. They have the speed, which is usually a problem for us, right? The fast break point, we usually kind of lagging behind. Not just because we're not as fast to get back on defense, but a lot of times we score and then we're like one guy is under the basket trying to get up. Our guys just fall a lot under the basket. Cat, Brunson, there's a lot of 5-on-4 when people are attacking us on the other end. Okay, so we're gonna have to find a way to minimize those. If we need a good chance to win this game. So there's a lot of little things we have to pay attention, a lot of little details we gotta pay attention to.
Yeah, thank goodness they're not a really good. I mean, they're a decent 3-point. They're a decent 3-point shooting team, 36.2%, 14th in the league, because you're going to get them against the Knicks. Like the Knicks give up, not just the 3-point percentage, but 3-point attempts. So you're going to get those, against the Knicks. Yeah. To me, it's I want to see how the Knicks create offense against a healthy Wemby with those guards out front. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Not much to say other than what's already been said.
But you know what, Queen? Though it's good because so guys, Queen and I, we text all the time, right? And one thing I've texted you is like, I wanna play those games against the better team because you want to gauge, you want to see where we're at as a team, right? You want to see how we do against the upper echelon teams in the NBA. So I want to see those games. Like, if we lose, we lose. If we win, hopefully we win. But at least you want to have an idea of where we stand, right? Because it can't be, you can't really measure yourself when you're playing against the New Orleans Pelicans. That doesn't mean we're gonna win that game. But I'm just saying, you want to see how you measure up, how you match up against those better teams. So
yeah. I mean, we are gonna be without Josh Hart. But again, next guy up. It's going to be interesting. I expect Cat to have a good game. It's going to be interesting to see how Brunson is. Brunson is going to be Brunson, but he's going to have his work cut out for him because there's going to be more. It's not just Stephen Castle. There's other guys they can put on him too to kind of slow him down, bother him, make it difficult for him to get to his spots, make him have to work, maybe wear him down over the course of a game. Kolek, if you remember that NBA Cup game, Kolek really helped us to relieve the pressure in that fourth quarter when Mike Brown put him back in after the turnover over half court, and just having those two ball handlers in the game really, really helped us. So,
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see how Kolek responds too, because they're going to, they know what he did, they'll be keen on him as well. So for Kolek going forward, like, it's one thing when teams don't know you and teams aren't paying attention to you. It's quite another when they do start paying attention to you, how you respond. So I think that's part of Kolek's development. And so far, so good, actually. Jabroni says they're giving Mitch extra rest to be ready for Wemby on Wednesday. Maybe.
Do you think so? Or do you think is he? I mean, it can't be he's hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he hurt for one game and then come back the next?
Yeah.
Kind of like Mobley. Mobley was out. They expect him out a month, and he comes back in a week to play the Knicks. Did he play after that, Queen? I don't know. He probably didn't play another game.
I'm pretty sure he's been back. He just came back for that game, and that's
that one game. And there's another guy too. The guy that was guarding Brunson. I forgot his name. He was checking Brunson the entire game. The guard. He's probably like 6'5" kid.
Well, rookie or young player?
Yeah, he's a young player.
Wasn't Tracy, was it? Not sure.
No, it wasn't Tracy. Who was it? But he was injured too. He just came back miraculously. He's good. He was good to go.
Jabroni said Sam Morrell. Is that him?
Yeah. Is it? Yes. Yes. It was Morrell. Sam Morrell. Yep. He was out and miraculously came back for the Knicks.
The Knicks are always going to get team's best effort, right? All right. So that's Wednesday, and then Friday we play Atlanta again. This time at home. They're 15-8, 10th in the Eastern Conference, 2-8 over their last 10, and they've lost 6 straight. Obviously they will have played a game or two by the time we play them on Friday. A lot of news or reports about Atlanta thinking about moving on from Trae Young. I mean, whatever. We have to. He'll be ready for us on Friday. They're struggling right now. Like I said, they lost 6 in a row. They're a pretty good shooting team, right? They're 7th in field goal percentage. They're 5th in 3-point percentage, but they're only 15 in offensive rating. They just the volume is not there, in terms of shots per game, 3-pointers per game. They just don't have the volume. But in terms of efficiency, they're a pretty efficient team. 19th in defensive rating. They are not a good rebounding team. 26 in rebound percentage, 23rd in defensive rebound percentage, 27th in offensive rebounding percentage. They're decent in the paint, number 7, points in the paint. Knicks are number 4 in defending the paint. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in this game. Number 5 in fast break points. The Knicks are number 10 in defending fast break points. Again, what wins out? And they're number 4 in points off turnovers, right? Knicks don't give up a lot of points off of turnovers, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as well. Thoughts on Atlanta?
Queen, listen, I'm not taking anything lightly with them, right? Because we just played them a couple of games ago, and guess what? We almost lost that game.
Yeah,
like we were cruising there for a while, and then they came back. They actually took the lead in the fourth quarter. All right, so it took some energy, some heroics from Brunson and for OG to win that game. Okay, so I don't care that they're not playing well. We got to go in there and try to beat them while they're down if we think they're not playing well. But as far as I'm concerned, they're a pretty decent team because they have players who, again, historically has given us problems. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what they're not playing, but they're very capable of playing well. They're very capable of beating us. So we have to go in there with that mind frame, with that mindset that, let's not take these guys lightly. Forget about their records. These guys are NBA players and they're very talented. And again, a lot of guys, they have good talent on the team.
Yeah.
I feel like their record is not, a good indication of what, like, the talent on that team, because I feel like they could be better than that.
Yeah, the chemistry is not there.
It's,
I mean, you guys had them pretty high, particularly Geoff. Shout out to Geoff. When we were ranking the teams in the Eastern Conference, right, prior to the season, Geoff might have had them 4 or 5.
And I you know what? That's a pretty good place. That I feel like that they should be there. Why are they not there? I don't know.
I mean, Porzingis has missed a lot of games. He's still out. He's still out as well. Trey missed a bunch of games, right? He recently came back, so it could be the injuries, and they haven't had an opportunity to forge chemistry. Jalen Johnson is that dude, man. This guy is he's a real one. Didn't even look like he was doing that much damage, and then you look it's
at
a triple double.
Yeah, it's
almost a triple double.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Atlanta. Statistically, anyway, any matchups, like I feel like, OG's our best defensive player. He can make it hard for Jalen, but in terms of the counting stats, you're just not going to be able to stop him. You can make it hard for him, just similar to Brunson. You make it hard for him.
Slow him down, yeah.
Yeah, slow him down, a little bit. But at the end of the night, you look at the score sheet, you're like, wow. I thought OG was doing a pretty good job. And then Dyson Daniels,
It's like OG thought he was doing a pretty good job until he looked at the scoreboard.
Right.
Yeah, Dyson Daniels, he's another good player. Man, if he could
and making it difficult for Brunson.
If he could only get a little jump shot, man, forget it. That guy's gonna be a handful. His defense is insane.
Yeah.
But again, just like on the other end, right? OG, like Dyson Daniels, I'm pretty sure thought he was having a good game. Then he look at the score and look at Brunson got like 34 points or something.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways, I guess.
Yeah. What I do like is, as good a defender as Dyson is, I just don't get the sense is Brunson pounding the ball up the court against him every single possession. It just seems to be easier this year for us to get the ball over half court quickly and to get into our sets. And even though he's a really good defensive player, maybe he's shaving a second or so off of it. I still don't feel it just doesn't have the feel of last year when Brunson had to like turn 15 times, against Dyson before he got the ball over half court.
There's a lot of things they're doing also this year, Queen. They're passing the ball out of backcourt a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I did.
I mean, guys putting themselves in position to receive the ball coming out of backcourt. So Brunson, he does bring the ball up, but sometimes he just doesn't. He doesn't have to.
Right.
Like, somebody will bring it, halfway through the backcourt and then pass it on to him. They're doing a much better job at freeing him up this season.
Yeah. So. For sure. All right. Let's move on. Oh, I think we're going to fly. We're going to fly through this. All right. Philadelphia, we play Saturday, 7:30 at MSG. So 2 away games this week and 2 home games. The away games are first, obviously, and then 2 home games to end out the week. Philadelphia, who we saw maybe a week or so ago, 16-14, 6th in the Eastern Conference, 5-5 over their last 10. This is the first time they've lost 3 straight this season. So a bad stretch for them. They were a good offensive rebounding team, number 8 in offensive rebound percentage. Decent, defensive rating at 13, but they're really good in, holding teams in opponent field goal percentage, holding teams to 46.4% from the field, holding teams from 34.4% from the 3-point line, which is where the Knicks take about 42%, 41 to 42% of their shots. They get to the foul line. They're number 8 in free throw attempts. They shoot it well. Overall, number 5 in field goal percentage, number 11 in fast break points, number 10 in second chance points. This is another team similar to how you feel about Atlanta. That's how I feel about Philly. I feel like Philly, they had injuries and Embiid is in and out of the lineup. George is back now. He was out of the lineup for a while. Maxey missed maybe 2 or 3 games. But this is a team, if they're able to stay healthy, this is a really good team. And they do some things well. I think Embiid is out. They play Memphis Tuesday, and I think Embiid is out. Quentin Grimes, is in, somewhat of a shooting slump, but trust me, what Geoff said, Madison Square Garden, everything is going to be fine come Saturday night. Thoughts on Philly?
So one of the big surprises of Philly this season is the rookie Edgecombe.
Yes.
He is really good, Queen. He's really he is not afraid of the moment. Like he's really good. He's very good ball player. Yeah. They beat us the last time, and I'm sure they have some sort. They're confident about coming in here. They're gonna beat us again, so we just have to prepare for them. We have to come in with that with the mindset that okay, this is gonna be a revenge game. They beat us the last time. They got one up on us. We got to go back. We got to get that back, right? And that's what we got to do. Especially if you have championship aspirations, when you got to take that personal. When teams beat you, and they celebrate in front of you, you have to remember those things. Those things, you have to keep that in mind that way. Especially you only played them by that time it's gonna be 2 weeks. That has to be fresh on your mind that they beat you. So you got to come back and take revenge. So I expect us to play better, to come prepared to play. Talent-wise, I think we're okay. We're very comfortable whether Joel Embiid plays or not. I told you at the beginning of the season, I felt Joel Embiid was done. He's going to give you some minutes. He's going to have a game where he scores 30 points, and then the next game he's going to score 7 points and not be able to play. I just think he's done. He cannot be the centerpiece of a franchise anymore at this point. Not just his age, but then his health. The good thing is they're very dynamic backcourt, including Quentin Grimes, who he's got a bad stretch right now, but he's been playing well for them. So you have those 3 guys in the backcourt, and if Paul George is healthy, that's another guy who always gives us problem. Paul George. So. Yeah. Don't take them lightly. We got to go in, and we got to go in, want to take revenge against that team.
I will say this about Embiid. He may not be who he used to be. He's still really good. When he does, when he does play, you do have to pay attention to him as well. And I think they have shifted in terms of, he's if he plays, he plays. If he doesn't, he doesn't. We're not running our offense through him. So I think the mantle, so to speak, has been passed to Maxey. And if you want to add Edgecombe in, kind of early for me, but definitely, to Maxey. But when he does play, this is still a 2010 guy, and you still have to pay attention to him. And that's less attention you can pay, you could play to others. So it's the second half of a back-to-back, so Mitch will play in either the Atlanta game or the Philly game. I don't think he's at the point where he's playing in both yet.
He won't be injured anymore, Mitch. He won't be injured, but no, you're right, Queen. And Embiid, like I said, Embiid's done, but 70% of Embiid is still a handful. It's still a problem. So him being done, being only at 70, 65%, he's still a problem. You meet that guy in the playoffs, and he turns on the playoff switch. God forbid he doesn't get hurt, you're in trouble.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
And even Maxey, thank goodness McBride is back. Maxi is Maxi. Like, I'm not thinking, McBride is going to come back and he's going to be a stopper. But in terms of who we have, he's the best of who we have. To guard him. It's been kind of tough on Bridges, having to, guard the point of attack. Though I think schematically we're doing things differently so he doesn't have to navigate so many screens like he did, last season. But still, having McBride back, both offensively and particularly defensively, is going to help. I know some in the chat has been saying we're just not a good team defensively, but when you don't have point of attack defenders, and guys can get into lane with ease, and you're always in rotation, it's hard to be great. It's hard to be great.
Let me ask you, in terms of matchup, right? I get you would put Anunoby on Paul George? Is that what you do?
Paul George is not who he used to be either. He's still good though.
He's still good.
He's still good. I don't. You can, because you figure Bridges is going to be on Edgecombe.
Then who do you put?
Who do you start? Like, are they going to start Diawara? Then they might put Diawara on George. I mean, I don't know.
It's going to be. So then who's OG Anunoby checking?
Who's starting for them? Oubre is out as well. Oubre is still out.
Let me see who's starting for them. You have Maxi Edgecombe, George. Well, you said so. If Embiid is out, they probably start. What's his face?
He's out for Tuesday's game. I think by Saturday. He's gonna be ready.
He'd be on crutches and be on the court. I want to play the Knicks. Okay, so Embiid. Who else? We missing one person? We missing who? Does Grimes start for them?
Let me go to the last game they played, and then I could tell you who started for them. All right, so they lost to the Thunder pretty badly. They started Dominique Barlow at forward. So it was Tyrese, Maxey, and Edgecombe. Drummond played instead of Embiid, but the forwards were George and Dominic Barlow.
Yeah, Barlow, he's like 6'9". He's pretty good size.
Yeah. I think the Knicks will be okay.
Not super talented. I mean, he's haven't made his case yet, but
right.
He's a good size, good physique.
Yeah. Any concerns about Philly at all?
No, I just want us to come prepared. I mean, we should be able to beat this team if we come in ready. If we come in ready, there's no reason why we can't just walk away with the dub.
Yeah. X Production said he thinks McCain starts over Diawara.
McCain.
Oh, McCain starts. Oh, he's talking about. I'm thinking of McCullough. He's talking about for Philly. He didn't start last game. Let me see. Did he play even? And I wonder if they may just go by they may just go by matchups in terms of starters. But let me see if McCain played last game. He did play. He played 24 minutes. Maybe. Quentin Grimes played 22. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anything else? We didn't talk a lot about the Knicks statistically. I really like what I see when I was going through all four teams plus the Knicks. I really like what I see, and we're not even at full strength. Of course, I can't find my notes. But
Queen, why are you looking for your notes? So
there's
there's one.
Test. Tell me about the eye test.
No, you know what? Are we having a show on Thursday? I don't know if you
I'm available. It is New Year. To me, New Year's Eve
Day.
is more of the holiday than New Year's Day. So it's up to you guys.
Maybe we can. I think I should be available because I want to talk. I don't know if you have time to talk about that today. Like all the noise about, because we have some young players
Mhm.
playing well,
Mhm.
and of course, people they can't stop talking about Tom Thibodeau. So I just wanted to go over that, but I don't know if that's
Okay.
probably.
If you want, if you want to, you want me to give you center stage. Like, do you want
No,
some?
no, 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 no. No, I just want to say a quick thing. I think it's unfair to Tom Thibodeau, and I'm not a huge Tom Thibodeau defender. I like the guy. I think he's a great coach, and he was excellent for the job he did here. He came in to do a job, and I think he did this job with um um with flying colors. Is get us out of the quote unquote gutter because he put the Knicks to a point where I personally felt like he couldn't go any further with his philosophy, with what the way he coaches. But that doesn't mean he was an excellent coach to take us to install this discipline or this what we are right now. So I think it's a little bit unfair for people to say that Tom Thibodeau wouldn't have played Kolek this many minutes or that many. Yeah, they're probably right, but then you can't really compare the situations because it's first of all it's not the same team, it's not the same Kolek, he's not the same player he was last season, right? It's not the same team we had last season, it's not the same opponent. Like you really comparing apples and concrete blocks, not even apples and oranges, apple and concrete, like two things that have nothing to do with each other. You can never compare last season to this season because everything changes around. It's never a right comparison. It's never right. It's just never a fair situation to say like he wouldn't have done it. Yeah, maybe he would have, maybe he wouldn't have, but we don't know. Maybe if he was in this position this year and he saw Kolek's development that Mike Brown is seeing, maybe he would have played him all those minutes. There are so many moving pieces, so many parameters, or so many unknowns that it's just BS to try to make that comparison. Tom Thibodeau was here. He did a good job, take us to a point where he couldn't go further. Okay, and we all understand that. That's why I wanted them to get rid of him because I felt like he couldn't go any further. But that doesn't mean what he did is, we gotta, kind of diminish what he did because what he did was tremendous for this franchise, absolutely tremendous. So I just want because I see a lot of stuff on my YouTube on my roll on my timeline, like people complaining about. I mean, first of all, he's gone. Just leave it alone. We have a new coach now. Let's move what the new coach is doing. New coach, new players, new roster, new bench. You can't compare the two benches. Last season, this is not what we had. We had campaign. We had a Precious Achua. We couldn't. It's not the same thing. You can't compare them.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think there are differences. I just think the conversations. I'm with you. Tom Thibodeau is not here anymore. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. But if you do choose to make the comparisons, in my opinion, they're just not nuanced enough for me.
Yeah.
He's playing the kids. Listen, Mike Brown wasn't playing the kids either when we were fully healthy.
Yep.
None of them were in the rotation. Kolek was out of the rotation when we were fully healthy. Kolek got his opportunity when both guards went down. That's when he got his opportunity. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people just gloss over that because they have to make these points and they're not even looking at, like, how did Kolek get this opportunity? He was on the bench. None of these guys were playing. Mm-hmm. McCullough wasn't playing until Josh Hart went out. You understand what I'm saying? So, listen, I do think they're different. Mike Brown is everything I wanted him to be. When we hired him, I think he's different than Tom Thibodeau in the ways, at least I need him to be different, that I think will bode well for us going forward. But some of it is just one, taking score too early because it's December, and two, Comparing Mike Brown to Tom Thibodeau to me is just irrelevant because Tom Thibodeau is not the standard. The NBA Finals is the standard, not Tom Thibodeau, right? So giving him a point because he's doing this different than Tom Thibodeau and like, to me, it's just irrelevant. Tom Thibodeau has nothing. I don't need to compare Mike Brown to Tom Thibodeau. I need to compare Mike Brown and this team to Detroit, to Houston, to OKC, right? To the good teams in this league. And Mike Brown is going to be judged by the results, not because you can play music in the locker room now and you couldn't play music in the locker room with Tom Thibodeau, right? He's going to be judged on the results, not on how different he is from Tom Thibodeau, you know? So I do get kind of annoyed with that, kind of like let it rest. First of all, it's not a nuanced conversation anyway. Oh, he's playing the kids. Tom Thibodeau never played. So do we think Kolek couldn't just develop and gotten better over time?
Exactly.
Are we saying that this is the Kolek last year that we're seeing now? So if Daddy A pops next year, is that on Mike Brown because he had that player sitting on the bench this year? Players grow over time, and there's no way to know if they were that way last year and a coach was holding them back, or if they grew over time. There's no way to know.
There's no way to know. That's why I say, you're comparing stuff that can't be compared. And Queen, if memory serves us well, right? Tom Thibodeau, he's playing Emmanuel Quickly a whole lot of minutes. Quinn Grimes, right? Deuce McBride, who's still here, who's gotten better. Like, he's gotten better every season that he's been here. Deuce McBride, he's gotten better and better and better under Tom Thibodeau mostly. So,
I mean, that was a false narrative anyway, right? Not playing the young guys went Quickly, RJ Barrett, Grimes, or I mean, it is what it is. Like if you don't like it's hard to be balanced when you don't like somebody. That's just us as being humans, right? The emotion comes into play and it kind of clouds. It just kind of clouds things, a little
I don't
bit.
see why though, because I this. We've had our little, discussions here. You know how I felt about Tom Thibodeau when he was here. I wanted them to get rid of him, right? Because I've said he's made too many mistakes that I can see as a coach. I see like there's too many wrong too many wrong decisions he made. But that doesn't mean you can't appreciate what he did. Like that's the part I don't get.
Both things can be true. Right.
It's what are you watching that you don't understand what this man came in and did for this franchise? He did a lot.
And Thibodeau doesn't have to be Mike Brown. And Mike Brown doesn't have to be Thibodeau.
Exactly.
Like both of them, they go about things different. They're different people and they're different coaches. And Thibodeau doesn't have to be Mike Brown, right? Mike Brown is his own his own person. And I think at this point, we should talk about what is Mike Brown doing and not what is he doing that Tom Thibodeau didn't do. I just feel like it's so irrelevant. Yeah. Anyway, the Knicks play a team that's not that good tonight. And let's hope that the Knicks are very good tonight. We get the W. Hopefully we get a chance to welcome Miles McBride back, who's probable for tonight. And, Mitch is out tonight. Shaman is out tonight. Josh Hart is out tonight. I don't know. The starters are probably up, for the game. Wiz, happy belated birthday. I wished you happy birthday on your birthday, but happy belated birthday again. And Thursday, I think we're going on Thursday, even though it is New Year's Day, because we go on kind of late, like 9 p.m. I'll check with Geoff and Jerrell and see what they say. And if that is the case, Wiz, be ready to jump on and tell us your Knicks story. Any last words, IJ?
Last word, man. Shout out to Wolverine 1986. Trade Bridges for Zion, Dewey Leon. Like, yeah, let's trade the guy who hasn't missed a game in, I don't know, like forever, his entire life, to a guy who only played 50 games a season. Yeah, 50? Let's do it.
I think you're being generous.
I'm being super generous, right?
he might not have played 50 games over 3 seasons.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, let's do it. You know, anyway.
Somebody who can't shoot. This is a 3-point shooting team. I mean, come on. He just changes how we play. And why would you change how you play for Zion?
Yeah. I don't know what some fans are thinking, but Queen, you know what? It's time for the game. Let's go get it. I mean, we should. I'm expecting a W from this team. You know, it's not going to be easy. No NBA team's easy to beat, but we got to set the tone from jump, right? That's what we got to do. Let's go get that dub. Yep. Until next time, family.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's
shine.
Where you at?
Dope Soul.